What's up and welcome to Gun TV. Today, I am excited to announce Kenderik Bloodknife Davidson as one of our new sponsored athletes. Today, we're going to be doing some light pad work, some training, continuing to prepare Kenderik for his upcoming fight, which is when and where?
Yeah, so that fight is May 24th in Harriman, Tennessee. That is going to be for XFA, the Extreme Fighting Alliance, and that is going to be for their 205-pound K1 title. So.
Awesome, and I'm excited to be training today at Ethos. This is where I personally train all the time, so I get to see the work that Kenderik is putting in. And when we sponsor a fighter, one thing we do is we do our homework. We're not just trying to find anybody that's looking for a sponsor. We're looking for somebody that reps Gun TV well and somebody that ultimately puts in the work. Our fighters are a little bit different than our other sponsors just because we have to find the right amount of professionalism and the right amount of crazy. And that's what we get with Kenderik. He is definitely a professional athlete, but he has that right amount of crazy for a fighter as well. So hopefully we'll get to see that today in our clips. Gonna hit some pads and then we'll talk a little bit at the end.
Yes, sir, crazy is my specialty, baby. Let's go.
Hopefully you enjoyed that dope edit from the best camera lady in all the world, Alex behind the camera, Caliber Row on Instagram. But now that I am out of breath and dripping in sweat, I figured we would talk a little bit because as we sponsor people, like I said, I don't want to be the 70-year-old old fart sponsor that just throws money to someone and says, hey, put my brand on that. Like, I want to become friends with these people. I want to get to know them. I want you guys to get to know them so that when you're walking through one of our shows, you'll rub shoulders with them and be like, dude, Kenderik, I saw you whooping up on Badger or something like that, or I saw you win that last fight. Like, we want to be very personable. But as we were hitting pads and stuff, I learned something about Kenderik that I didn't know. He's going back to Tennessee for this next fight. You grew up in Tennessee, right?
I did, yeah.
And I lived in Kentucky for a short period of time, which is, we both know each other's area very well. So what's it like going back home to throw some hands? And
Yeah, it's exciting. It's double exciting for me because on one hand, I haven't been home in 5 years. So I've been here trying to train, just keeping my head down, working, moving. So just been a minute since I've been able to come up for air and actually take a trip back home.
Awesome.
So on the first hand, beautiful for me to get a chance to go back home and see my people. And number two, to fight for a title out there in my home state where a lot of my family members can come watch is a huge deal too, because a lot of the things I've done out here are local in Arizona, and obviously most of my extended family is in Tennessee. So
yeah, realistically, you say go home and fight for a title, you just mean go pick it up and come back home.
Because go pick it up, dude. Yeah, it's already mine. It was mine the day I signed up at Ethos. It was mine the day I decided, I'm going to do this fight camp. It was mine the day, I decided, hey, this is the life for me, and I'm going to put everything I got into it. I just feel like I got a lot of potential energy, and any way I place it, I'm bound to go. So.
And before I want to talk a little bit about this fight camp, but what I really want to talk about is what got you into fighting. As I mentioned earlier, it's like you got to be a lot of bit crazy to get into fighting. I've trained for quite a while, so I'm like borderline crazy, but not enough to get in the cage.
Yeah.
What got you into it, and what's kept you in it?
It's definitely some of that. It's definitely an element of that because, from the earliest memories I have, I just knew I wanted to serve in the military. I knew I wanted to fight. I knew I wanted to see combat. To this day, I still feel like the main job for me is supposed to be bagging and tagging, door kicking. I don't feel like I'm living up to my true potential. I feel like I'm supposed to be taking bad guys out of the world, but this is the second best thing, so we're out here doing it. But for me, man, I just always knew I was supposed to serve. I always knew I was supposed to see combat, and this is a different, avenue for it. But at the end of the day, man, just always kind of grew up scrappy, red-haired, right? I'm a ginger, so got that fiery spirit, and got into a couple of fist fights in high school, fell in love with it. The adrenaline was awesome.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, dude, there's nothing else for me. So I decided to kind of get into it back then. Got into a little bit of Dutch kickboxing and savate, and from there.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I like how you say the adrenaline rush, because that's what originally got me started, is
100%.
keep me from fighting on the streets and back to keeping it controlled, but still having that same rush. But one thing I want to mention to you is that You're planted where you're planted for a reason. So though you want to be kicking doors and taking out people or whatever, I truly believe with your platform and as it grows on ours or whatever it may be, somebody's going to see this and be inspired to go change the world through you. So you never know what you're planning on that. But one thing I said I've never done is go through a fight camp, go through that kind of discipline. I've done it to an extent for a weight cut for powerlifting or strongman, but like weight cutting and preparing for a fight is so much different than anything else, and we see the extreme of it with some of the UFC guys cutting 30 to 40 pounds. What this last fight camp that you're wrapping up, what has it been like for you? Have you had to cut much weight? What's your training been like?
Yeah, so that's the cool thing for me is, you know, I fight around 205, I walk around 210, 215. If I'm really munching, eating some churros, I'm drinking some Modelo's, and I'm probably pushing 220 or so. But no, for me, it's not much of a weight cut that I have to make.
Sweet.
So for me, coming into camp, I'm always looking at calories and stuff for, you know, the first few weeks and trying to cut most of that weight through calories so I don't have to kill myself through the water cut. But again, when you're talking 10, 15 pounds, pretty light work. But honestly, this camp's been awesome for me. I've had a lot of really good work. Had an opportunity to go train at AZ Combat Sports, AZ Muay Thai, a bunch of different gyms, get a bunch of different looks from different coaches, different you know, sparring partners, etc. I feel like this has been a camp where the mental, the physical, everything's just kind of you know, come to a head, and I feel like I'm probably the most ready I've ever been.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you already know we'll be cheering you on. Some of us from Arizona, some of the team going with you.
Yeah.
But I know, and I'm sure you want to give a shout out as well. Thankfully, I'm in the place I'm in because my hardworking wife lets me be the face of it, and she's behind the scenes. I know you got a woman that is behind the scenes. Yes. That's whether it seems to be she's cooking for you, she's always at the gym with you, she's always in here. I know you probably want to give her a shout out as well because realistically, half the stuff us men do, we can't do it without the women around us as well.
Yeah, big shout out to Christina. Without her help, I mean, we just wouldn't even be in a position to have trained as much as we have, to have the diet that we've had. She just kind of helped tie some of those loose ends together behind the scenes while I'm too busy training and stuff. So without her, I just wouldn't be here. So definitely shout out to her. Shout out to you for sponsoring me. Shout out to Brian Marini for sponsoring me. Shout out to all my sponsors, Atlas Altman. I mean, all you guys. If it weren't for you guys, not just the monetary contributions, but even just showing up to my Shark Tanks, being like, hey brother, we're here, we're in your corner. You know, when I'm sitting here getting the shit kicked out of me and I hear somebody, let's go, Kenderik, you got this shit, let's go. That right there for a fighter and for a human being in general, just to have someone in your corner pushing you through something hard, that's crucial.
Right,
so.
And you do hear those voices too from the jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff I've done. Like, there's 1,000 people yelling, but you hear that one voice, you know who it is, and it flips you into another gear. So, 100%. No, we want this to be a long-term partnership. We see a lot of promise in you. We know you're going to do amazing things.
Thank you.
Not starting, but continuing on what you've already been doing here in 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. So we appreciate you on this video. Like I said, we'll do a lot more. This is the gym I train at, so I get to do and train with Kenderik very often. But swing over to his Instagram. What's your Instagram?
Yeah, it is tattooed_berserker, but it is BERSERKR, just spelled Old Norse style.
Okay, and we'll make sure to tag him through posts on our Instagram at Gun TV Shows. And as we wrap up this video, as always, swing over to guntvshows.com and grab a coupon for our upcoming shows. And you never know who you might just see strolling around one of our shows. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.